warm welcome for one of the most successful actors of all time, the fantastic Robert Downey Jr.
Success, success.
Great to have you here. First of all, we would like to know what's behind that black blanket. And Carmel and Harry, would you be so kind as to uncover the thing and unveil the secret? And Mr. Downey, would you share with us what you brought with you?
Of course.
So, please. Okay. Ready?
The unveiling. Look at this teamwork, see? Just yank it.
Hallo.
Danke. Never block me.
You ready?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is our the bear. Let me now. Now listen. We thought that hey, that's pretty good. We thought diversity and inclusion, kind of like the themes of Dolittle. How does it look?
So colorful, yeah. I love it.
A little bit of a rainbow action.
Yeah.
Yep. Damien Hirst is going to buy this for $30 trillion.
Just
What will happen to the bear after you signed it? Because I would give you some markers.
What do you want to do?
Sign it. And I think it's going to be auctioned off.
That's right, the auction. Now watch this. Here's where you really learn in Hollywood. You're going to sign it while you're holding a mic.
Put it down.
I'm going to check it on the butt. Okay, we're good to go. What for you? What for you, kind sir? Mine's already been decapped. Let's sign away. Yes, this will be an auction item. Oh my God, we finished at the same time, synchronicity.
So, and maybe one last picture.
Yes,
for
a
the
last picture.
photographers.
Here, why don't we lose the mics? Thank God I'm here.
And please put very close. Very close. A little bit closer to there, yes. Yeah. Robert. And one to the middle. One left. One left. Robert, this side, please.
Here and then we'll be done.
Oh,
thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's move over to the press conference. Ms. Downey, this is yours, and Carmel. And Harry over here, please. So, once again, Carmel, Harry, Mr. Downey, great to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let's talk about your movie Dolittle, or as we call it, die fantastische Reise des Dr. Dolittle.
Yes.
Mr. Downey, you were only 2 years old when the first Dolittle film with Rex Harrison hit theaters. What fascinates you about the story of the man who can talk to animals?
Well, I mean, I remember seeing this when I was a kid, and then I remember Eddie Murphy's version. And it's just that thing. I think it's something, you know, I have kids now, some young ones, and it's just something that they're kind of obsessed with, and, you know, having that kind of fantasy life. I think, obviously, the theme of Everybody Deserves to Be Heard and all that was kind of cool. But then also I get to work with these young rising stars and show them, you know, show them the ropes.
How was acting with an entirely computer-generated animal cast? What kind of experience was that?
What do you think, Carmel?
Yeah, I mean, it was really, really great because there were people in green suits who were really able to like do all the movements for us and make all the voices, which was really helpful, and they're really fun feeling as well.
Yeah, I think some of them worked on Star Wars as well, so they were very experienced in there. They knew what they were doing.
Imagine if your job on a movie was just to be there in a green suit, and then once in a while you would just pretend to be a polar bear. I mean, it's kid stuff. It's fun.
Especially for the gorilla too, he had like this massive butt, so like it was pretty
yeah, the gorilla had a butt. And you remember the long extra arms they put
Yeah.
on the front too?
It's crazy, and it's crazy to see like the journey from the beginning of it to the end, like how, like, because we just saw it as drawings at first, but then to see like how much it's developed is really like, it's incredible to see, you know.
Harry, you are Stubbins in the movie, Dolittle's young apprentice, who follows him and a bunch of exotic animals to a magical journey. What kind of journey was it for you making the movie?
Wow, that was a very good question. I think that I went in there empty-handed first of all. I didn't really know what to expect. And then it was just like, I think how Stubbins learns from Dolittle, he's such in awe of what he does, and I've been a fan of Robert's work for how long, but it's the same connection with Stubbins and Dolittle. I think going on this journey together, we've learned a lot and everything, and that's exactly the same for me and Robert Downey Jr. It's just, it's a very lovely journey, and you see that in the movie as well.
Sounds like I told him to say that.
He didn't, don't worry.
I would never.
And you sort of see that in the movie, how both Dolittle and Stubbins grow as people, and I've definitely become a more confident person as well, I think.
Carmel, you are Lady Rose in the movie, who sends Dolittle and Stubbins on their adventurous journey in order to save the Queen. How much did you enjoy playing Lady Rose with her royal accent and attitude?
Yeah, I mean, I love playing Lady Rose, especially since she wasn't in any of the original books, I don't think. So it was really great to be able to like play around with her and like make her my own character. And like with the accent, yeah, it was a ton of fun. I mean, I tried to watch as many like documentaries and stuff to see like exactly how they walk and talk and
sounded pretty
speak.
posh.
Yeah, no, but like Lady Rose, she speaks with like RP. I don't know how much you can like. I don't know if that's pretty similar probably for like Americans. You know, they think it sounds the same, but yeah, but yeah, I tried to make it as accurate as possible. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's your first feature film, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, which is crazy, you know, but because I had such lovely people around me, you know, like Robert and Harry, it made the process so much easier and so much more fun and enjoyable. And I felt like I learned so much from just being there. And it's like, it's life skills as well, you know, it's not just the acting bit, it's really learning how to like communicate with other people and yeah, it's just, I felt like I really grew as a person, like Harry said.
It's great too, because Lady Rose, of everyone in the movie besides the Queen, has the highest status.
Yeah, and she's like a child.
Yes, and she comes, you know, when the animals are all bounding in to Buckingham Palace, the guards, obviously they want to stop her. She's like, no, you're our guest. I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Great, so who would like to start? The gentleman here in the first row.
Mark Carapetian, Spirit is Smile in the Storm ist my own film gesehen. Thank you for the lovely film. It was really fun to watch it. And question to Robert, what was your motivation to play the part of Dr. Dolittle after Rex Harrison and Eddie Murphy? And what is your favorite pet? I have a Siberian Wolfdog Husky mix called Felix.
Ooh, that'd be it. Yeah, Harry'd like in on that. I'm not all that strategic with what I do and what I choose. I'm a little more intuitive. There's something about it that just seemed like a sweet departure from Aliens killing everybody. I don't know. It's just, you know, I've been in a very different universe for a while. And also, you know, when I was starting off as an actor, I had giants, amazing people who I got to work with and I learned so much from, whether it was Sybil Shepherd or James Woods or Warren Beatty, who produced a movie I was in, and I love the idea of being able to carry on that tradition and pass along some of the things I learned from them to Carmel and Harry.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next question, the lady in the second row.
I'm Charlotte, I'm here with Valere Magazine, and my question is more towards the kids, because as animals are really important in your movie, you probably have heard about Fridays for Future, and because it's a really big movement also in Berlin and with kids, what do you think about it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I really hope that after people watch the film, they're able to really like get motivation to do more things like that. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really great. You know, all the movements and everything. It's so powerful.
Yeah, I think just animals are such an important part of our culture, especially. And it's really great when you see this movie to actually celebrate what we have as well, and what you're doing is really great, so I really appreciate that.
Okay, thank you.
So, the next question, over here on the left side, second row.
Hi, I'm Silvia Brauer, Spätvorstellung das Kinomagazin, German YouTube channel. Robert, what is special about this new version of Dr. Dolittle?
I mean, again, to me what's special is I got to bring my kids to the premiere. We had a really fun time shooting it. Shooting these kinds of movies is always really difficult and challenging, and ultimately all you have is the process of doing it. I think the way this one is different is that I really want to play him as something that is different from Tony Stark as I could, someone who has given up on humanity, never wants to see a human being again. He's a very lonely, isolated person, and because these two come over his house for different reasons, one with an urgent need from the crown, and the other for something as simple as to save a squirrel that he never would have hurt on purpose. I just love the idea of that starting point for three characters, and the rest of it is like fun and animals and silly and cool and, you know, a family movie.
The next question, in the middle, the gentleman with the blue jacket.
Hi, I'm Paulus. It's a question for all of the actors. So if you could be an animal in real life for one day, just for one day, which animal would you choose and why?
We have to pick a different animal every time we're asked that question. I would like to be a Humboldt squid.
Why?
Humboldt squid. They're quite dangerous and aggressive, but they're beautiful to watch. Anyone ever seen a squid? Squids are pretty smart. I'd like to be a super smart squid. End quote.
Gosh, I mean, I've said this a lot, so sorry, I can't think of anything. I think like dolphins are like really sophisticated.
I'm a dolphin gal.
I'm a dolphin gal. And yeah, I think they just like know their way around and they're really cool, so.
Does ant count, or is that more of an insect? Can I say it?
That's part of the animal kingdom.
I'd say ant then, because...
Just a single ant.
Yeah, I'd always want to see what's going on in that little hill. Yeah. I thought that'd be really interesting.
Imagine if you were a whole colony.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right?
You're like the king of the ants.
You could have helped them move the set furniture around.
Yeah.
You had a big scene with ants in this movie, come to think of it.
Yeah.
And a dragonfly too.
Yeah.
But you don't want to be a dragonfly. Not this
I mean,
one.
I'd take the opportunity.
Thank you.
Great. The next question over here in the back. Yeah, right, the gentleman.
Thank you. Hello, Thorsten Bretzinger, Alex Radio, 91 FM and 60 Minutes. A question for Mr. Downey Jr. What is the main purpose of a cinematic fairy tale-like movie like this in this day and age? Did you want to combine escapism and creating some kind of environmental awareness?
I mean, I wish my motivations were that lofty. But I think it's what you said, the way you described it. To me, all entertainment is not escapism, but it's a way for me to get out of myself and have an experience. I want to try as many different things as I can. You know, like what do they say, variety is the spice of life, you know? Yeah, like I suspect Carmel and Harry aren't going to do another Talking Animals movie after this, unless we do one of these, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to try different stuff.
Exactly. And I mean, like, this film, like, it has so much heart and soul into it, and I feel like it's a film that, like, anyone can relate to, because, like, you go through, like, such a journey. So I think that was, like, really important for us to be able to, like, you know, to be able to share that and tell that. And it's, yeah, as Robert said, it's a really fun process.
What do you want to do next, Harry?
I mean, this film is a lot of like action in it, but I'd love to do another action movie.
Yes, action movie.
Yeah, action movie.
He'll do action, she'll do environment, together, save the world.
We'll make the dream team.
Yeah.
Harry just turned 16.
Literally.
Yeah. What kind of, how did you like celebrating your 16th birthday in Berlin?
Wow, well, the first thing that happened when I turned up on the red carpet, and you guys are amazing for doing this, thank you so much. Everyone was singing happy birthday, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, this is amazing. But yeah, but everyone was so nice, and it was really, really lovely, especially to celebrate my birthday in a country I've never been to before. Not country, city I've never been to before. And yeah, and I'm really happy with all the love and support and everything, so thank you everyone for doing that for me.
So cool.
Yeah, great, thank you. The next question over here, the lady in the second row. Microphone, please.
Hi.
Hi. Hold on, that is the second row, but it's the first row with people in it.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're hiding a little.
Right, that's my barrier.
Yeah, scary. Anyway, I'm Susan from Desire from German Lifestyle magazine, and I have a question for all three of you, and it's about Robert's iconic roles. And I'd like to know, would you rather have the ability to talk to animals, have an iron suit, or be the best detective in town?
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
I feel like each one has different helps. Like if you're an animal doctor, then you're helping animals. If you're a detective, then you're helping the best crimes. And then if you're Iron Man, I mean, it's just pretty cool, really.
Yeah.
just helping everyone.
If you're Iron Man, you're helping Disney. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd have to say Iron Man probably, but both of them are pretty cool. Yeah.
And you?
Me? Oh yeah, I mean, I probably also say Iron Man. Iron Man just iconic, you know? Who wouldn't want to be Iron Man?
Iron Lady. Next. That's what's next.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next question over here in the back, the gentleman.
Hi, I'm Marcel from Geekpool. First of all, a question to Robert. How is it playing such an iconic character after all these years playing Iron Man? And also a question to all three of you. If you had the ability to talk to animals, what animal would you choose and why?
I think the second question we already answered, but no, we'll answer it again with a different animal.
Yeah.
The first one was what?
You played such a long time Iron Man,
yes,
and now you're playing
another iconic character.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I should just play like a doctor or something next. You know what I mean? I always think no matter what you're doing, you're playing a human being, and we're all pretty broken and complicated, and we all need each other. So you know. I think the big roles are only cool if you add humanity to them, you know. And what am I going to pick this time? I can't say ant, I can't say dolphin, I'm going to say a kitten. There's very few things cuter than a kitten. And if I could speak to a kitten, I would say, how can I be as cute as you? And I'd expect a damn answer too. Pick another animal.
Okay.
Which one to talk to?
Which one to talk to? I think another animal probably be an owl. That's my second one. I think owls. Yeah. I feel like they'd be good, like, because they're nocturnal. They don't like ever sleep. So, like, and I don't ever sleep either. Like, so I just think it'd be really great to be able to do like.
Are you a night owl?
I am, and I'm definitely not a morning person. Like I said,
Me either.
Not a morning person. So I think it'd be great to be able to like have a midnight snack, you know, watch a film. I think it'd be really great.
Harry, you can't say wolf.
No, I'm not.
Go ahead.
I think I'm actually going to say cat this time because, especially Barry in the movie, I just love to talk to him and go, oh, I'm sorry there.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be really funny.
I got a nice cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray Fiennes knocked it out of the park, by the way.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Saw that Shakespearean training and prepared him to play our tiger.
Yeah. So there was a very spectacular fighting scene with Barry the Tiger. Could you tell us how you shot it? Because it looked really amazing.
Yeah, well, I mean, having done that action stuff for Sherlock, I figured like this is like a fight scene. We shot a lot more than what wound up in the movie, but our stunt coordinator went away and he came back with all these images. Glenn Foster, as you know, you did a pretty fair amount of stuff yourself. And he was just sending us all almost like, you know, like cat videos. And I want to do this one. Have you ever heard of this thing where, is it a cucumber? You know how cats are afraid of cucumbers? Google this. You put a cucumber near a cat and it like jumps. So we had a little sequence where like I kicked this thing over and he saw a cucumber, but the one that stayed was of course the laser pointer, which we used as a reflection. I really broke a sweat doing that scene, I'll tell you. And Ray Fiennes was back in England.
Yeah.
And then he came in and stole the scene.
So Harry, what was your favorite scene? What do you remember?
Oh, so I've got this really funny story actually. There's a little scene where I'm running through a really lovely dandelion field in Windsor, and it was a lovely place. I was just running through there, and they said, "Oh, just run. We'll tell you when to cut." And I was like, "Okay." So I started running, and I was a bit like Forrest Gump. I kept on running, so I just kept going, and I kept going, and I couldn't hear cut. I was just like, kept going, and I got to this wooden fence because there's a part where you go down this hill and they can't see me anymore. So they must have been shouting cut, and I couldn't hear a thing. And I went, "I've been running for like 10 minutes now. I think I should walk back." And then everyone was cracking up laughing.
Except your mother.
Yeah, my mum was a bit worried with me.
My gosh.
Carmel, what about you? Can you think of anything funny and your favorite scene? I mean, my favorite scene was definitely when we were like, there's a scene where Stubbins and Lady Rose, they knock on the door, and then Chi-Chi like opens the door and he just starts like screaming, and then like Stubbins starts screaming, and I was just like this back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it's so many takes with like Harry just like screaming.
And by the way, you're not bothered by it at all. That was pretty great.
Yeah. No, I was like dying inside. I was like, "Okay, keep it cool, keep it cool."
Carmel also had a scene. It was so beautiful, and it's never easy to do. And it was your first audition, first picture, everything, where you have, you know, you're concerned about the queen, you think you're losing her and you're crying.
Yeah.
What method did you use to do that? Were you just thinking about something personal, or were you thinking about the reality of the scene, or what?
I think, I mean, like Jessie Buckley, she plays the queen, and she's a phenomenal actress. Like, honestly, she's absolutely incredible. And I think we just really like worked off each other a lot, and yeah, and I think it was just like, you know, being in the moment and just feel all of these, like, you know, just being there on set, you know, that's pretty overwhelming, and then just like doing this scene, and I think it's just all of that build up that you just lead to like, yeah. So
that was impressive.
So thank you, but yeah, I mean, Jessie's amazing. She really is.
Great. So next question on the right, the gentleman.
Hi, I'm Daniel Rizzo. I think some colleagues are wondering why I'm not wearing an animal costume, but you had a great surprise, so it's okay. I have a question. Mr. Robert Downey Jr., you're new to this acting game.
I know.
So,
pretty green.
Yeah, great job. So what actually did you learn from your colleagues, and how hard was it to teach Mr. Robert Downey Jr. acting? And second question is, what actually happens at the count of 3? There's a bird counting down 3. What happens?
That's right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look. First of all, I think acting is primarily a feminine. It's a feminine endeavor. It's very yin. If you're not in touch with yourself, you can't do it well. So I think, generally speaking, actresses demonstrate it better, as evidenced by the fact that out of left field, she did what I would call a perfect tear, which it took me until I was 26 and shooting toward the end of Chaplin to get anything close to it. And as far as Harry, I just so relate to being someone who wants to do well, but is also coming into my own. I mean, he just did turn 16. I had to watch him grow up on this, and I think we're all always growing. So I was projecting, you probably didn't know this, brother, I was projecting all of my own angst and, you know, anxieties of being a teenager onto you, but also watching how well you handled it, because, you know, it was a very big role, and you nailed it, buddy.
Thank you very much.
Would you like to
answer
as well?
I'm just going to say that obviously when you're asked the question, what was it like working with Robert Downey Jr., everyone sort of expects you to say, oh, he was amazing, but I can genuinely say from my heart, he is a great guy, and
they're always asking you in front of me too.
Yeah,
which is,
exactly. Like pretend he's not here, like.
But yeah, just you learn so much from him. He's just the best, really.
Yeah, I mean, like to work with someone who's so incredibly talented and just so caring. Like Robert always made sure that Harry and I, we knew what we were doing and that we felt comfortable and that we felt happy, which is the most important thing. And you know, like to learn from someone who's so charismatic and so funny, but at the same time so down to earth, it's just like it's the best thing you could ever wish for as an actor. You know, like you really feel like you're learning from the best.
We spent a lot of time together offset too.
Yeah.
I think if you don't have that off-screen connection, you can really see it in the movie.
Yeah.
So it helps. We did a lot of stuff off-screen because you can see all of our relationships are better on screen because of that. So I'm really grateful.
Yeah, me too.
And I for you.
So, the next question, the gentleman in the first row.
Robert, Laurence Olivier said acting is creating illusions, and Oscar Werner said he wants to give the audience the dream. What do you think is right, and what do you want to give the audience?
Well, first of all, those two quotes are so apt, you know. Probably my favorite actor, Peter O'Toole, by the way, but also a great movie. I was thinking about David Lean this morning. In the 80s, before he passed away, I remember going to a Hollywood party, and he was sitting there holding a glass of champagne. They put him in a chair, and here's a little hammer. So his thing was kind of like up like this, and but people were coming up and paying respects to him, you know. And I kind of went over and shook his hand and all that stuff, you know, the Hollywood royalty, as it were. So anything that those folks said back in the day, it still stands so true, you know. For me, I'm a little bit less of a journeyman. I've been doing this a really long time, and all I have is the experience and the process. So I just want to stay in the mix and stay active and busy, and be a good dad and a good husband. And if the rest of it turns out fine, that's cool too. Does anybody want a free bottle opener?
The next question, the lady in the first row on the left side.
Hi, Johanna, my name is Johanna, and I'm from Kindersache.de, online website for children. Okay, so how was it for you to imitate the animal noises, especially for you, Harry?
He's a natural.
Yeah. Thank you. It was, you know what? It was kind of awkward at first because obviously it's super silent in the studio and you're just going, and then everyone's just looking at you and you're like, it feels awkward, but now it just looks really cool. But it's actually really cool because the bear roar, I just sort of went with it, but the other stuff like the peacock and the monkey, I had to learn what they actually, and then there was a peacock and Ken was like to me, the VFX director, he goes, yeah, so peacocks make this sound. And I was like, what? I didn't even know peacocks even made a sound. So it was really interesting to deal with that, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, he's such a pro.
It's very funny. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The next question, the gentleman in the back.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Dariusz. I'm from the online magazine Netzwelt. It's a pleasure meeting you guys. I have a question for hopefully all three of you. Knowing the Dolittle versions of Mr. Harrison and Mr. Murphy, what do you think your movie is doing better than the other ones, and what do you think maybe you transferred into the modern time because you liked it so much?
Well, they both had this sense of wonder. I think Rex to me is just a period film, which at the time was horribly received and then became a classic. So we're carrying that. And then also the Eddie Murphy version really was more just about centering around what his strengths were as a comedian. We didn't really carry that over. I was trying to think a little bit more realistically about it for some reason. But you know, I think you want to honor the previous ones, but always try to bring something a little bit new and special if you can. And I think, if anything, all the on-screen talent, of which there's so many, but all the voice actors that we had just brought the movie to such another level. So it got me thinking about how important teams are. You know, like you're kind of almost like putting together a team of people to try to do something.
Yeah, I mean, like the animation now obviously is like so much more like developed and different. Right. But I think that this film is also about, I mean, like Stubbins and Dolittle, they're often like really misunderstood. Like I just feel like when I was seeing this film, like I really felt like you know, they needed each other. You could really like feel this bond, and you could see the journey throughout the film of their connection. And I feel like a lot of people can understand that, and a lot of people can feel like they're sometimes misunderstood. And I think that the message of this film is that, you know, you should appreciate yourself for who you are, and you shouldn't really change for others. And I think that there were all these like small messages in this film that I think are so important. And also, like, you can relate to so many different there are so many different characters, and I feel like anyone can relate to, like, there could be someone who could relate to like Lady Rose, there could be someone who could relate to like Yoshi, I don't know, like there are just so many different characters, and I think that that's what's so special. They each have like different layers and different personalities, which I just think is so cool.
This is going to sound bad, but I hadn't seen any of the Dolittle movies or even read the books before, but I will now. But what I think is so different about this is it has also everything that Carmel was saying, but also inspiration to it as well. Like I had a screening the other night for my birthday, and the amount of kids that come out and was just like, "Oh, I want to do what you're doing. Oh, like this is really cool." Like just to see that you've got a great family movie like this, and it's bringing so much joy to people's faces that they actually want to carry this on, and that is a very, very special feeling to me, and I'll never forget that. But yeah.
Good one.
So let's take one last question. Who is a very nice one? Okay, you're waving. Please go on. Wait for the microphone, please.
Thank you. One last question, please, to Mr. Robert Downey Jr. You did so many great characters, like Iron Man, like Dr. Dolittle, like Sherlock. Did you have maybe a dream world to come for the future? Because I could imagine you as the next James Bond.
Wow. Imagine. I should wait till I'm 70. Because then I'll really finally be mature.
But did you have a dream role to play in the future?
A dream role? No, it's just whatever I do next. It's just what the next, to me, the movie I just made is my favorite movie I've ever done until the next one I do, which is the one that I'm finally going to get it right. And I think we can all relate to that, right? You got to love where you're at and aspire to something more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Dolittle will be released in Germany on January 13th. Thank you all very much. Thank you for your questions. And Carmel, Harry, Mr. Downey, thank you very much for your answers. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I start, I'll be here for an hour.
Das ist geil.